Chat, chat, chat. Chat, chat, chat. Chat, chat, chat. What up? What up, chat? What up? Oh. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hold on, hold on. Chat, chat, chat. AYG, AYG, where y'all at? 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 AYG. Chat, chat, chat. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Man, what's good? What's good? Come on, y'all. How y'all bumming? How y'all bumming? How y'all feeling? Chat, chat, chat. How y'all feeling? 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 What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Late night, late night, late night, late night. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? It's cool little late night. Cool little late night. What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Brayden, what's up? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Dia, what up? What up? What up? Hey, Carter. What up, Carter? Hey, what's good? Hey, let me, you know what I'm saying? Paul, what up, Paul? Whoa, what up, Paul? What up, Paul? What up, y'all? What up, y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? McNuggets, what's good? What's good with y'all? Hey, AYG family, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Late night stream. I told y'all I'd be back. If you was in the live earlier, I told you I'd be back. I was live earlier. We back. We back. AYG, what up? What are you doing, man? Just talking. We just straight yapping. Straight yapping. We yap, city yap gang. If you watch my videos, you know what it is. The Red Bull looks hella good, though. Bro, this the Cherry Sakura. The new one. The Cherry Sakura, man. We ain't sponsored yet, but one day, you feel me? What's good, bro? AYG, already yours gang, what's up? Carter, Braden, Paul, McNuggets, everybody. Hello, everybody. How y'all feeling on this late night? How y'all feeling? It's that Cherry Sakura. This young five. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Late night stream. We was live earlier. But I wanted to come. I said I was gonna come back. I went out. I saw Stream 7. It was alright. But I had to come back to y'all because, you know, I'm married to the gang. But how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Carter, Braden, Paul, McNuggets. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? I'm going to make a stream. I'm going to make you seem cool. Hey man. What? Hey man. Thank you. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's Scream 7 good. It's alright. It's alright. Like it's a cool 6 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just got like and subscribe. What's up, Carter? Hey, thank you, Carter. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody showing me love. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? If you in the stream and you don't really know much about me, I make like motivational content for you to go about your day. Like, you know, that's the type of content I make. I try my best to inspire and uplift people through these hard times because we need it these days. Excuse me. But that's the type of content I be making. You know, that's the, if you watch my videos, you know what I'm saying, I was live earlier, but that's the type of content I try to make. I try to inspire, I try to uplift. That's what we're here to do, uplift the community. Everybody's welcome, no matter, you know, everybody welcome, man. As long as you're showing love, you get love in return. That's all we can ask for. That's what we here, that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? So, to all people that's up in the live, man, thank you, man. Like I said, it means a lot. Always, muchos gracias, most appreciated. So, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, man? The AYG RDR's game, we here. What's up? I subscribe. When we have donations, I gotta figure out how to do that, bruh. I will be we got to get that. We got to get that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get on. I gotta figure out how to do that. We will. Am I don't know. Like, do you have to have a certain amount of subs to even get that? Cause I don't know. Like, am I popping enough? Cause I got under 1K, so I don't know. Am I lit enough to be getting donations? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't turn it down. You feel me? But I appreciate that, man. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Sending encouragement from the Bahamas. Hey, much love back. What love's back? You not popping? Hey, it is what it is. Okay, we gonna be popping though. You feel me? Shoot. All right. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I take that, you know what I mean? We taking this stride. We gonna be popping though. How y'all feeling? You know what I'm saying? If you keep going live every night, you'll have that another month or so. Hey, appreciate that, Brayden. I think, hey, I did my first live earlier today, bro. You know what's crazy? Everybody been telling me to go live. Yo, Rod, go live. I was like, I might. And I was like, you know, I'm going to do it. And so far, I feel like, dang, I should have been doing it. It's crazy. Everybody been telling me to go live. Even people that, like, I know in real life that, like, watch my content, they was like, yo, Rod, go live. I was like, I don't know. Because when I make a video, I have the topic ready, but it's kind of like I have the topic, but I freestyle around the topic when I make a video, right? So I kind of know like what the topic is gonna be when I go into the video, but I don't like write it down. Like, it's still freestyle, but I have the topic ready. When you live, like, that's it. There ain't no you live. So everybody looking, you got to keep going. Like, no, you can't have no dead air or nothing. You know what I mean? You got to keep going. You got to keep flowing quick. So versus like when I make a video, I can be like, you know what I mean? I could just like, oh, scratch that. Or, nah, I'm going to go about this another way. Can't do that when you live. So that's why I was kind of like discouraging myself in a way of like doing it. Cause I was like, you know what I mean? But now that like I did the first one, I did the first test live, like, if you know what I mean? And I was all like, wow, that wasn't bad. I can get the hang of this. Like, this is cool. So, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate that. Appreciate everyone for coming in. Much love. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? You know, plus I was all like, man, I'm gonna go live. Ain't nobody gonna be in here, man. I ain't, you know, but I was like, no, actually, shoot. You know what I'm saying? What's up? But thank you for the encouragement. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we definitely gonna be going live more. I'm gonna try to go live at least. I'm gonna try to go live daily. I ain't saying ain't no promises, but promise though I can make is at least every other day. That's a fact. Now, that's a fact. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fact. You know what I mean? That we can do. You know? It's just something. I'm just getting a hang of it, getting used to it. But yeah. So, you know. What up, Carter? What up, everybody? I hope y'all doing good, feeling good. Your mental right. You feeling good about yourself, man. You know? You're a natural live stream and you keep getting better every stream. I'll be here for your streams and I'm working. Hey, thank you, Brayden. I thank you for the encouragement, for all the encouragement, everybody showing me love. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, when I'm like doing the vid, I like kind of like getting like a flow state and lock into like what the topic is. But it's like, I'm not used to like, oh, okay, like this is people coming, like, you know what I mean? People coming in, they talking, they making comments. I'm like, like, you know what I mean? Like, but so far, sometimes I want to like pivot into this, is that like sometimes we like psych ourselves out. Like, we psych ourselves out of thinking like, oh, like, nah, like, I can't do that. I can't do this. What if this happens? What if that happens? And when you finally take the step, when you finally take that first step and do it, you're like, wow, like that actually wasn't that bad. What was like a lot of times when you just finally just make the jump and you just do it, you're like, dang, what was I even so scared of? You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about this doing this live. I'm all like, when I did the first live, I was like, dang, what was I so scared of? Like, I was like afraid of like being seen in real time. Like it's one thing you press record, right? You make a video, you drop it, whatever. You know what I mean? If it does good, it does good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But when you live, like you stutter a little bit, or you make a mistake, or you trip over your words, like people see that. And I think a lot of times, like you're afraid of being seen in real time. And I think that's another reason why, like, you psych yourself out of the game. And that's, like even before I went live the first time, I was all like, nah, 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 nah. I was like, you know what? The longer you wait to do something, like I feel like the scarier it's gonna be for you. So you might as well just do it. Like get out the way and do it, The longer you wait to finally take that step, I feel like the scarier it's gonna be. So you might as well just take that leap of faith. You know what I mean? You know? So that's something that I just been like, even me, like I make content, I try to lift people, but most importantly, even I need to be uplifted. We all do. You know what I'm saying? Like no one has all the answers, but all we can do is try. But thank you for people that's showing up, showing up, showing up. Much love, much love, much love. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, I think that was one of those one things. But now that like I did the first one, I was like, oh, okay, I could def get that. I could def do this. Like, soon as I did the first one, it was like, I don't know. That's something I gotta work on technically. But facts, bro. Facts, bro. Ain't nothing to be ashamed of. Bro, me, I get, bro, facts. And it's like, once you do it, it's all like, I mean, soon as you get that practice mode, it's like, you'll get the hang of it, and it's all like, you'll never feel that way again. Like you'll never have to feel that way. Well, not like never, never again, but you'll, when stuff happens, even if you are afraid, you won't like cower in fear like you used to. You'll be in the position where it's all like, yes, I still feel that fear, but it's not going to deter me from getting out of bed and facing the day. And I think that's the difference. That's the difference where you're like, okay, it's okay to be afraid, but I'm not going to put myself in the position where I'm going to hide. Like we all used to be in a position where we used to hide, but now it's like, okay, I still feel, discouraged. I still feel I still have the anxiety, but I'm walking out the door. I'm going to face this. And I think that's the difference between, once you start taking a leap of faith and facing it head on, that's something that you'll have, you know what I mean? I think that's something you have in your back pocket. Like I said, even myself, you know what I'm saying? I never, you know what I mean? So I never thought like I'm live, y'all. I'm live, man. Thank you for everybody showing up. What's up? What's up? What's up? Much love, people that's pouring in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all doing well. Much love, much love. But yeah, that's something that I was all like, if you keep working hard like you are right now, you'll be famous one day. Hey, thank you, Carter. Carter, appreciate me famous. Like, thank you, Carter. Thank you, Carter. Thank you, Carter. You know what I'm saying? And thank you, everyone, for sure, for sure. Because like I said, like, it's truly a privilege. It's truly a privilege to people that just like, like getting to talk to y'all, getting to, speak to with like-minded people is truly a privilege. Like I said, muchos gracias, muchos gracias. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, man, you know how it is out here. It's tough out here. A lot of people are mean for the sake of being mean. Unfortunately, it's just one of those situations where a lot of people just delight in, just the negativity. But you see it when you go on your phone. Like everything is just, everything is just negative. There's not gang squad. Hey, what's up? AYG, already yours gang. That's us, bro. Well, we got three workshop names. We got already yours squad, already yours gang, and already yours crew. We still working on if we gonna go about already yours crew, gang, or squad. We still working on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but whichever one you call it, it don't matter. Much love either way. But yeah. So, a lot of people delight in the negative. So to have whether it's big or small, to have a community of people that are bouncing off each other and trying to have these conversations of how people are feeling, how people are doing, because you never know how somebody is doing, especially mentally. Like, you ask, you talk to your coworker, your peer, your friend, and you ask them, they're like, "Oh, I'm good, I'm straight. Oh man, I'm Gucci, I'm whatever." But they really not. They going through it. So it's cool to to have those conversations and to speak to others in that sense, because you never know how somebody is doing. So if we can have it, maybe some people don't have that community. Like, some people are a stranger in their own home. They don't feel safe with their family or their friends, or a lot of people will laugh at you or ridicule you. But if this can be a space where, hey, I know I can come in the community, because like we like-minded people, you know. So if you can come, you can come here, and like, you safe here. If you're not safe anywhere, you safe here, because a lot of people don't have a safe haven, and that's why a lot of people, they lash out, and they bleed on the people that didn't even cut them. You know what I'm saying? We ain't politicking. We ain't politicking. Yo, Reese the dog, we ain't politicking. No, we ain't politicking up in here. We don't politic up in here, man. We hear about uplifting and about the mental. No disrespect. I don't care who you voted for, who you rock with. We ain't politicking. You feel me? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you wrong. You whatever side you on. I'm not saying you wrong, whatever side you on. But we ain't politicking. We hear about uplifting, positive energy. You know what I'm saying? Once you get into politicking, people start fighting. You know what I mean? Nah, we ain't politicking. You know what I mean? So that's just facts. But hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like I said, we ain't politicking. I ain't. You know what I mean? Everybody think they side is right. The most I'm gonna say about it is that, like, right now everybody losing. Shoot, you go to the store, we all losing. You know what I mean? Gas prices, everything going up, everything messed up. Everybody struggling. My thing is, everybody want to claim their side is right, but economically, we all going through it. So my thing about it is all like, I don't trust none of them. No cap. Because I feel like economically, we are going through it. Shoot, the median price, we could really talk about it for real, because the median age of a home buyer, the median age of a home buyer is in their 50s. That's the median age of a home buyer. So what's up with that? The median age of a home buyer, I think it's like 55. No, like, nobody, like, we'll say 21 to 35 can afford to buy a home right now. Unless you already got one. I mean, there's few, but you know what I'm saying. So my thing about it is, shoot, well, no matter how you swing politically, they ain't doing nothing for nobody. No cap. Shoot. Bag of chips, $6. What the heliante? You know what I mean? Shoot. So, I don't. You feel me? But we off that. But like I said, a lot of people delight in negative, and a lot of people don't have a safe haven. And that's why I think a community here at AYG, woo, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? I think we provide that safe haven for people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, we ain't politicking. Because like I said, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, the boomers got all the houses. No disrespect. And that's not me dissing them. I'm just saying that nobody young, it used to be, people got married, they bought a home in their 20s. Shoot, that ain't happening no more. So my thing about it is, who looking out for us youngins? If you 18 to 30, who looking out for us? Nobody. And who looking out for us? If you 18 to 30 in the chat, who looking out for us? What political party looking out for us youngins? They are 80 effing it up for all of us, and we gonna have to inherit all the bull. So my thing about it is, when people say, oh, the right, the left, I'm all like, shoot, everybody's still broke, but okay, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, like I said, we ain't here for that. But much love to everybody in chat. Much love to everybody that's in the chat. Thank you for showing me love. for being here and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, thank you. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we build that safe haven, and people are able to have that. Because like I said, a lot of people, they're not even being noticed by the people that's claiming to love them. You know, how you gonna claim to love somebody, but you're not gonna hear them out, hear what they got to say? That's not real love. That's conditional. You know what I'm saying? So you can't claim to say that you love somebody, you got somebody, but you're not gonna hear what they got to say and be there for them. You know, because the real authentic love is when it's ugly. When it's ugly, that's the real authentic love, when it's ugly. You know, when somebody has a breakdown, when someone is nervous, when someone's scared, when someone's in fear, that's real love. When you see, you know what I'm saying, when someone's truly vulnerable, you know, when it comes from vulnerability. If someone's in a position where they don't feel like they're able to be vulnerable with you, at that point you're just walking on eggshells. You know what I'm saying? So that's not real. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. It comes from vulnerability. That's where real, authentic, organic, genuine love comes from. When someone's able to say, you know, to tell how they feel and be their true selves. If they can't do that, you don't have a safe haven. It's basically a performance. A lot of people believe they in true, authentic relationships, but a lot of it is just a performance. Because as soon as you break that performance, it's chaos, it's arguing, it's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because they're only comfortable with you performing this type of thing for them. And as soon as you break that performance, all hell breaks loose. And that's not fair to you, my friend, my friends. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair to you. So, and remember that you don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything. You know? So never lose sight of that, you know? Thank y'all for showing me love. Thank y'all for showing me love. Thank you for being in the live. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, once again, you know what I mean? I appreciate you on the late night live. Woo woo. But yeah, that's just one of them type of things, you know? So you know what I mean? If you feel like, oh, if I break this performance, it's going to be all out war, then you need to be hitting the door, because that's not something you want to be. Because think about this. Whatever age you are now, it doesn't matter what age you are now. Imagine having to hold on to that performance for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like the rest of your life, you got to perform this type. Like you have to be this way. And if not, you get chastised. You don't want to do that. You don't want it to be like that. You know you don't. You don't like it now. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a situation, that is. So, you know, I just want you to, you know, be very aware that you don't have to do that. You never did. A lot of times we were molded by the people around us to feel like that we have to take that we have to accept that. And you don't. You know what I'm saying? You know? And it's not easy breaking that habit. A lot of times we were, like I said, we were molded and crafted to accept certain things that were never meant to be accepted. Especially when you're young, because you're very impressionable. And when you get around other people, you realize what normalcy is, what's regular. And once you feel that, once you see that, you were like, wow, everything was a lie. This is the truth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? See, we got one right now. We got one right now. We got one right now in the chat. We got one right now in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm breaking the real. I'm breaking the real and they don't like it. We already got one in the chat. I see you. You feel me? I see you. Hey, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You don't got to be here if you don't want to. You know what I mean? You don't got to be here if you don't want to. You know what I mean? That's the thing. See? I'm literally saying the real, and look, they're exposing themselves. That's a lot of things. A lot of times too. Chat. A lot of people will expose themselves. You know, you'll tell them what they gonna do, and then they'll go out and do it. It's comedy for real. You don't have to break anyone down. You don't have to ask questions. They'll literally tell on themselves, and we already got one doing it. We got one, he doing it, or she, whoever they are, it don't matter. See, we got one. Like I said, you think you know how long I've been doing this, bro? I know what I'm talking about. Look at there, yo, you funny, bro. You funny, bro. Like, you funny, bro. Hey, man, you funny, bro. Hey, you funny, bro. Like I said, bro. Hey, you in my life, homie. You feel me? You in my life, homie. Hey, you ain't hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Hey, you in my life, bro. You know, you feel me? That's the thing. See, that's what I'm saying, chat. That's what I'm saying, chat. It is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? They'll tell on themselves. They'll tell on themselves, bro. It's that simple. A lot of times you could tell someone about themselves before they even open their mouth. You know what I mean? They'll literally it's like they exposing themselves and they don't even see it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and the thing that they're trying to use against me, that this person's trying to use against me, has been used against me my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do realize that I've been getting since 5, they've been using that against me. That's not gonna work, bro. You want to come harder than that? Shoot. I've been since preschool, bro. They've been joking on me about that. If I was afraid, I wouldn't get on camera to begin with. You know that, right? Bro, you want to come harder than that. It's Big Ry, never the little one. So you want to come harder than that. That's not gonna work on me. That's been framed against me since birth. You feel me? That ain't gonna work on me, brother or sister, whoever you is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, bro. We about to hold on, bro. Let's you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We gotta you know yeah, we you come on now. Come on now, bro. Well, that's not what this community is about, bro. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Bro, you a sad individual, brother. You know what I mean, bro. God bless you. Oh man. Hey, anyone that's in chat, I'm sorry about that, y'all. That's not what we about here. We are not a negative community. We don't do that here. On behalf of already yours gang, I apologize because I don't like that for y'all because you're supposed to be safe. I literally, but man, it's always going. Someone got to show that ASS, bruh. Because I literally was just talking about how we a safe haven, and then somebody come and make it unsafe. Like, man, come on, bruh. I literally was just talking about that. Somebody got to come in here and, you know what I'm saying? Hey, chat, let me know if I think I hit him, but I hope if he's still causing trouble, bro, report cuh. Report cuh. So, like I said, I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, chat. Like, I apologize, chat. I literally was just talking about that. Somebody got to come in and be on some negative stuff. But yeah, that comment, bruh, that ain't even the first person to comment that. You know that, right? What up, Jake? What up, Jake? What up, Jake? What up, Jake? How you feeling? How you feeling? But yeah, like I said, that's not the first person to even that's been used against me since I don't even know. Like, come up with something new, bro. It's like saying, oh, like, you know what I mean? It's just like y'all say people like that say anything, bro. And so like I'm not even ashamed of it. That's another thing too. Like, I'm not even embarrassed or ashamed of it. Obviously, like, you can, like, bro, I'm not even ashamed of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people have asked me about it. I've been upfront about it. Yes, I have one. I'm not going to say it, but yes, I have one. That's not, yeah, like, that's not news. You know what I mean? Shoot, Sherlock Holmes over here. You know what I mean? That's not news. Who hating, bro? Some dude was in here talking crazy in the chat, trying to make it unsafe for AYG, bro. Somebody was saying they got banished. They got banished. Get over here. You know what I'm saying? Get them out. You know what I'm saying, man? Come here hating, talking. You know what I'm saying? And low hanging fruit talk about somebody's appearance too. Like, low hanging fruit, bro. Low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? We need to go back to kindergarten with it. You don't got something I say, don't say it at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And like I said, chat, we normally don't have that. So I don't know where that even came from. I guess it's just, freaks come out at night, I guess. Freaks come out at night. Dang, bro. Well, hold on. Let's not spend any more time on that. You know what I mean? Hold on. Yeah, I ain't come here for that. But anyway, back to being a safe haven before it got made unsafe. MSB board, you the GOAT, brother. Thank you, Jake. See, we took out the negative, get them out of here, and we came back with the positive, bro. Hey, Jake, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. We gonna we gonna pin that. We gonna pin that. We gonna pin you, brother. You got pinned. MSB board, you the GOAT, brother. We gonna pin you, bro. Jake, you got pinned. I don't have a soundboard, but boom, 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 boom for Jake. That's what we doing for Jake and for everyone alive. Boom, 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 boom. We do it. I don't have a soundboard, y'all. We on the phone right now. So for everyone that's in the chat, show my love. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, dang, you know what I mean? You can clearly see my face. You obviously know, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, shoot. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, shout out Jake, man. Like I said, for Jake, especially, but everybody else in the chat, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? We gonna get one eventually. When we get more, hold on. When we get more tech and all that. When we get more teched up, we gonna get. I can't wait to press the button. You know what I mean? But yeah, come on now. Like I said, but the bigger that's another thing. Actually, we could turn this into a teachable moment. That person just made a teachable moment. So here's what we gonna do, chat. When you get bigger, and I'm not saying I'm like the biggest person ever or whatever. I'm not talking down to y'all. Don't ever think that, because I'm human just like y'all. But the more you aspire for more and the higher heights you reach, there's going to be, as much as you get love, there's going to be hate too. And you got to be able to weather the storm and handle that. So the higher you reach, the more love you get. I'm not saying it's going to be equal, but I'm saying the more love you're going to get, it's going to be more people hating too. It's going to be more hating. It's going to be more people hating too, unfortunately. That you got to take, life is all about taking the good with the bad. So when you put yourself out there, be ready for people to, they might say stuff. You know what I mean? Be ready, they might say stuff. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? That's what we take when we come out, when we show up. You know what I'm saying? When we come out, when we show up, that's what it come with. That's what it come with. You know what I mean? You trying to analyze me like you know me. You in my life. You know what I'm saying? Not y'all, the person that was doing that. I ain't talking about y'all. Like I said, we love y'all. So, but, you know what I mean? So it's all like, like, the fact that I'm just sitting here talking. You got all that stuff to say about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Remember, a lot of it's just projection. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? When someone's trying to analyze you and say something about you, it's really truly how they feel about themselves. That ain't your problem. What did you do? You know what I mean? Everybody got the same 24. Everybody got the same 7. Everybody got the same 365. You got the same 24/7, 365 that everybody else got. You chose to show love. They chose not to. That ain't on you. We all got the same 24. And everyone chooses to spend that 24 differently. That ain't your problem. That ain't our problem here. AYG. Woo woo. Boo 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 boo. I know until we get the soundboard, I'm just gonna have to do it. I'm just gonna have to mount it. I'm just gonna have to mount it. I'm sorry, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I hope you don't get tired of it. That's what we're gonna have to do. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, shout out Jake. For right when the hate came, Jake came in and immediately showed love. Sent from heaven. You know what I'm saying? Immediately. That's what I'm saying. I could have got all hurt, got all sad, but then I wouldn't have been able to receive the love. If I was weak-minded, I wouldn't have been able to receive the love because I would have been so focused and transmitted on the hate. You see me? You see what I'm saying? So it's all like, I could have let that ruin the life. Be like, man, dang, man. Oh, man. Nah, I allowed myself to receive the love. That's the difference. So it's all like, see, I took the good with the bad. We good. And here's the thing. I wouldn't have had to get him out of here if he wouldn't have kept spamming and ruining it for everybody else. It's like, dude, okay, bro, like we get it, bro. We get it, bro. We get it. You know what I'm saying? We get it, bro. Golly, bro. Like we get it, bro. Like don't spam and all that, bro. You only spam if you're showing love. You can spam if you show love. But it's like you want it for everybody else. It's so many people that they need this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but this might be the only place where someone can get some positive encouragement. And you coming over here doing all that. Like, bro, you got to go with all that, bro. We don't do that over here, bro. AYG, woo woo, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do it over here, bro. Come on now. You know what I mean? That says more about you, bro. But like I said, we off that, bro. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. The only thing I'm mad about is not even about what brother said. Because like I said, what dude said, that's been a joke since kindergarten, bro. Literally since kindergarten. I'm 24. So you do the math. Kindergarten, you 5. So they were making the same joke on me since 5. I'm 24. What's funnier than 24, y'all? 25. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's been the same, like, that's been the, what's up? That's been the same joke, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You know? It's kind of like making the same, it's like a broken record. You know what I mean? So, you know? So, and like I said, when you get on camera, you gotta be thick-skinned. You know what I mean? You get on camera, like, we live with it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I just hate that, like, dude coming up in here and mess. Only thing I'm mad about is dude messing up my train of thought, because I was about to say something, but it'll come to me. Maybe it wasn't, you know, it'll come to me. But thank y'all for being in the live, showing love. Thank you. Appreciate y'all for being here, man. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I really, like I said, above all else, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Here at AYG. Whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? That's another thing I need to get. I got to get the woo-woo so I can just go woo-woo. Like, I could just have it on there. I definitely, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, LSP? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you feeling? How you feeling? I hope everybody having a good night, feeling good. Yo, you know what I'm saying? So, what's AYG? AYG. So, at the end of the videos, I say it's already yours. So, AYG is it's already yours gang. We're either going to do already yours gang, crew, or squad. So, it's either going to be AYS, already yours squad, AYG, already yours gang, or AYC, already yours crew. So, someone in my comments one time said already yours gang, and I was all like, I like that. So, as of right now, we're already yours gang. So I'm saying the acronym AYG. That's us. Because it's personal. It's personal. So now you can feel like one day when I get popping, we can have AYG merch. One day. I hope next year we can have AYG merch. Where like you know what I'm saying, it says maybe we can get one of the quotes on there or something I say. Or we could do personalized, like something I've ever said that you wanted on it or something. But that's down the line. It's down the line. That ain't like today. But AYG is already yours. Gang. Big AYG. I think AYG winning, y'all. Do y'all like AYG? Because like I said, I was going to do AYC, already yours crew, or already yours squad, AYS. But I think AYG rolls off the tongue. I think it's a better acronym, AYG. I just feel like it rolls off the tongue. Like, I just think it's better than the other two. So I think we're going to stick to AYG. I like it. And we got Jake saying big AYG, so that kind of seals the deal. You know what? It's over with. AYG won. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, shout. Hey, big A, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We gonna pit big AYG in the chat. You know, big AYG, woo woo. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But yeah. It's kind of funny, like it's kind of funny. Dude did what he did. He kind of like, you know what I mean? Man, what the F? What the F? What you mean? What the F? You know what I'm saying? Wait, what I'm saying? But how y'all feeling? You know what I'm saying? What happened? But yeah, you know. So, you know. So, I don't know. Like I said, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. It's more of us than it is of them. You know what I mean? You know? So So it's more of us than it is of them. That's the thing, you know. And we on that. Darkness isn't mightier than light. That's something I really want to emphasize. Is darkness is not mightier than light. So even if they win it for the time being, they ain't gonna win in the end. And it's not always gonna be this way. That's one thing that you need to understand when um when you in a certain position, is that it's not always gonna be this way. Even if you in the pit right now, even if you're struggling right now, it's not always gonna be this way. You know, in the end, light will always come out on top. Never allow anyone to break your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You know, never allow anyone to break your spirit. As soon as they break your spirit and you are not feeling free to be authentically yourself, you lose. Never lose that piece of you that makes you you. Never lose that. Never lose sight of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how hard you try to break your spirit, because that's what it's all about. It's not about really destroying people. It's about making people conform to their ideology. They're not trying to destroy people more than often. Sometimes they do, but more it's about trying to get people to conform to their ideals of thinking. And that's the thing. And that's something you don't want to be. You don't want to allow yourself to be controlled. You know, think for yourself. If you don't agree with me, you don't agree with me. That's fine. At least you're thinking for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But we can always have a conversation in a respectful, in a cordial way. And that's something that we've been doing here. You know, I've had people say, well, Rye, I feel this way. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That other stuff is when we get out of hand. We got out of hand because I've never got out of hand with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's all like, you know what I mean? So that's the difference, you know? We welcome different perspectives. I was live earlier. Some people had different perspectives, but we was respectful. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. So, you know what I mean? People going to be how they going to be. You can't change nobody. I ain't trying to change nobody. You know, you think how you think, you think how you think. You know what I mean? If I went out of my way to try to change you, you would run the opposite direction even more. You know what I mean? You would immediately see me as an op if I tried to do that. If I immediately tried to like say, oh no, you're wrong. Your ideals are wrong. You would immediately run the opposite direction and feel some type of way about me. And that's fair. You know what I'm saying? That's fair. That's fine. You know? So, like I said, you don't have to conform to no one's ideology. Nobody. No one's. Not even mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to uplift. You know, I'm here. You know what I mean? I remember when, I feel like I had nothing to give. You know? So, what's this conversation getting at? Whatever you get out of it, brother or sister, whatever you getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you get out of it. You don't get nothing out of it, you don't get nothing out of it. You get some out of it, you get some out of it. You know? So, we welcome different perspectives, and we just I'm talking to my people. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have for today we're talking about this. I don't really do that. You know what I mean? Unless only on the videos they're personalized to what the topic is. Live, we could be talking about Dragon Ball Z. We could be talking about, anything, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We just we hear uplift. That's what the conversation getting at. Uplift. So, you know what I mean? That's what we getting at. That's what we getting at. Uplifting. That's it. That's what we need. You know what I mean? That's what we need. And like I said, people always push back against that. And that's fine. That's fair. That's fine. You know what I mean? That's fine. That's fair. You know what I mean? So, but we can push back too. You know what I mean? That's another thing that people don't realize, that a lot of people, when people push back, they run the opposite direction. Nah. Push back. We got to get out of the, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to have that grit, get your hands dirty. You got to. You know what I mean? So don't run. Don't run. You know what I mean? Don't run. You know what I mean? Nah, actually run towards it. That's what I like to hear, brother. That's what I like to hear. I like that. Yeah. That's the type of energy we need. See? Run towards it. You know what I mean? The only time ever that you should get yourself out of a situation is when you see no return out of it. If you know, if I stay here, it's going to go awry. I know I'm going to lose everything I worked so hard for if I stay in this. When you see yourself heading towards a head-on collision, you know what I mean? So, That's the only time you should get yourself out of a situation where you know, like, oh, if I stay here, it's a head-on collision. I know, like, I'm gonna get caught in the crossfire. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Someone push back against you, push right back. You know what I mean? So that's all there is to it. So yeah, you know. But like I said, keep pushing and going through. You gonna make it. You gonna make it. You know. Like I said, it's hard right now. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the situation is, but it's hard right now. But they ain't always gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all there is to it. It's hard right now. You know. You don't know how close you are. You never know. See it through. That's a see it through. See it through. You know, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. That better not be liquid death. Nah. This that Red Bull. This that new Red Bull. I never had liquid death. Is liquid death good? I ain't never had it. I'm more of a Red Bull. I like Monster. Ghost. I mess with Ghost. Alani. Rockstar, but only fruit punch. Rockstar, but only the fruit punch. That's the only one I like. The fruit punch Rockstar go crazy to me. But other than that, I ain't really mess with Rockstar like that. You know what I'm saying? They say that you drinking liquid death. Nah. We ain't sipping liquid death. Nah, we ain't sipping liquid death. It's that Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So because that's literally what Red Bull. I mean, so. You know, some people do say that. You know what I mean? You know? So I thought you meant the brand. Like the brand, like a Liquid Death, the brand. You know what I mean? Liquid Death. But yeah, but what was I isn't Liquid Death water? I think it is, yeah. I you know, but I think they got flavor too. Cause I was at the store one time and I saw like different like I saw different cans or whatever. I saw different cans. Yo, chill, chat. Let's you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Chill. Come on, y'all. Let's be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Let's be respectful. Paying for free up there. Bro, I don't know what it is, bro. I went live like earlier, bro. We was all like, I don't know what's going on, bro. Like, come on, y'all, man. Come on, chat. Calm that down. Calm that down. Be nice. Calm that down, bro. Calm that down, bro. Come on now. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I went live earlier. It was like none of that. Now I went live. I'm live now. Like everybody want to act up, bro. Come on, man. Soon as I say something too, like literally like 20 minutes ago, I'm like, we a safe haven, we good. And then like now everybody just like, nah, bro, nah, F that. We acting up. I'm like, wait, hold on, chill. Like I don't know, like it's like I don't understand it. I say that like, oh, we safe, everybody welcome. Nah, heck nah, man. I'm like, wait, chill. That's another thing too. Like, you know, you don't gotta be strong all the time, right? Like, a lot of people believe, and this is something I don't believe, that the people believe that the only form of strength is like with these. You know what I'm saying? Like people think everyone like the form of aggression is these. You know what I'm saying? And there's another form of strength. There's mental, there's intelligence, like there's internal, there's, you know, having heart. It's not just these, y'all. Like we can do better. Like it's not these. And in the end, that's not gonna get you to win. You know what I'm saying? In the end, that's not always gonna get you to win. You can't fight your way out of everything, y'all. You can't fight your way out of everything. Every situation don't require, every situation don't require these. You know, and you'll never truly ascend until you realize that this war is spiritual. That the war is within. The war that you have to conquer, the war that you have to prevail against is thyself. You know what I'm saying? That's really once you realize that, you're tapped in. A lot of people tapped in with everything but themselves. They tapped in with who dating who, this celebrity, drama, strife, all this other stuff. But they ain't tapped in. You know everything but yourself. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like that too. You know everybody, you know everything and everything that's going on with everything else, but you don't know about you. You're not tapped in with you. You know what I'm saying? So When your peers are vaping, do you do that? No, I'm not really. I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker. No, nothing against it. If you smoke, you smoke. Like a lot of people are like anti whatever about smoking. I just don't do it. I just don't partake. Have done it. It just wasn't for me. Like I just didn't get nothing out of it. Like I smoked and I was like, this don't do nothing for me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even a bad experience. Like it was okay. You know, I could do with it. I could do without it. It's just not one of my vices. You know what I mean? So, but not against it. Like I don't judge. Like a lot of people judge people for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy my own. I just try so I get the chance. That's how I was in school. I didn't buy my own either. Someone be like, "This is a blue raspberry." I'd be like, "I'll try it." You know what I'm saying? Whatever you talk about, go to bed. Nah, it's like 11 o'clock. We ain't going to bed. We up. We lit. We ain't going to bed. You know what I'm saying? So, but so yeah, but that's just me. I just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like have me a drink every now and then. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? But I just when it comes to that, it's just not really one of my vices. But back to what I was saying. Like I said, the battle is spiritual. The battle is spiritual, and the battle you need to tap in with you. You gotta tap in with you because when you know yourself, you don't. When you know yourself, you won't fall for everything. A lot of people don't know themselves, so they're easily, but they're easily impressionable, and it's easy to manipulate them, and they fall into things. So it's easy for people to tell them certain things or spin a narrative, and they'll fall for the narrative. When you know yourself, you won't be easily impressionable. A person who stands, for everything stands for nothing. If you stand for everything, you stand for nothing. And that's another thing. A lot of people gonna tell you where to be, who to be, what to be. But in reality, all you need to do is just be. That's it. One more time. A lot of people gonna tell you where to be, who to be, what to be. But in reality, all you need to do is just be. Remember that, chat. Remember that. If it don't make sense in due time, it will. So that's the difference. That's the perspective. So like I said, when you tap in with you, when you realize that the war ain't with these, it's in here. The war is with thyself. The war is in the spirit realm. That's when you realize, oh, okay, there's bigger things at foot. There's bigger things at play here. That's when you truly realize what it is. That's the difference. So remember that, y'all. Remember that, y'all. But like I said, how did you get so much wisdom? Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I believe through making mistakes, by failing, making mistakes. Like literally, like through trial and error, making mistakes, and a lot of people around me. There's a lot of people that put their hand on my shoulder, and they were a direct influence on my life. I listened. A lot of people hear, but they don't listen. I listened, even if it was something I didn't agree with. Because, like I said, in due time, you'll come to understand. I think it's don't listen to hear, listen to understand. I hope I'm not butchering that. I think it's don't listen to hear, listen to understand. People hear, but they don't listen. So a lot of it was just a lot of making mistakes. There's a lot of things that I saw other people do, and I was like, man, I would never do that. I would never make that mistake. And I went along and made the same mistake that, it's nothing like laughing at somebody else and making a mistake, and then you go ahead and make the same mistake. You never truly understand someone's psyche or way about doing things or understanding things until you put yourselves in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. When you see someone that's going through a hard time or is making a bad choice, you never know what someone's going through. I'm not saying that we should encourage them to their downfall, but you never know you never know what led up to them making that choice. We don't know what their childhood was like. It doesn't excuse the behavior, especially if it affected you. But like I said, sometimes no one's ever shown someone grace before. Imagine no one ever showed you grace. No one was ever patient with you. How would you feel? That would hurt. That would hurt real bad. No one's ever showed you grace or been patient with you before. So that's really important. That's really important, chat. I'm not saying you gotta allow someone in your life to continuously, hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to love others from afar. I'm just saying that we never know what led up to them doing that. especially if you don't know the full story. You from the outside looking in, you know. So that's another thing too. But I love y'all, chat. I love y'all, chat. Thank you for coming to the live, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. I just want to thank y'all real quick before I get back into it. But yeah, so I think a lot of it was just through making mistakes. Like, I made mistakes. I learned. You know what I'm saying? I've grown. And, you know, I'm happy to share when, you know what I mean, the things that I've learned and the things that I've been through. And I'm happy to share that with y'all. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy that I get the privilege that someone is willing to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Whether they agree with me or not, whether they like me or not, someone's willing to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? That's truly a privilege. There's a lot of people, like I said, you know, they'll tell everybody and anybody, but no one wants to listen to what they got to say. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy that I got the opportunity. The opportunity was, like I said, y'all here, you know, y'all gave me the opportunity. You know what I mean? And like I said, muchos gracias. Thank you. AYG. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I think that's why I gained that. Like I said, through my experiences and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And seeing a lot of people that I've looked up to, you know, they struggled. They've been through things and they had hardships, and I saw the way that they handled them. I saw the way that they handled those hardships, and it was a direct influence on me to be like, wow, these people have been through harder things than I have, and they are still, you know, striving for more. I know I can strive for more, and so can you. You know what I mean? So can you. So can you. Never lose sight of that. You know what I mean? Never lose sight of that. You know, even if you have to put the goal on hold, never lose sight of the goal. You know, even if you got to put the goal on hold, maybe you're in a bad position right now, never lose sight of the goal. You know? So, and like I said, people will call you by your mistakes. People will call you by your imperfections to remind you of where you failed, to remind you of where you came up short. You know what I'm saying? So remember that even when you do ascend and get that gold medal, people will still try to call you by your mistakes. They'll try to call you where you failed, call you where, you know, you messed up at. But that's not who you are anymore. That's not part of your identity anymore. It never was and it never will be. So what, you had an addiction? So what, you were overweight? So what, you had a run-in with the law? So what? So what? Who are you now? Look at you now. You're still here. You know what I'm saying? So what? I'm here. And I still want more for myself. That's you. You're here and you still want more for yourself. That's the difference. They're always going to try to call you by your mistakes. Didn't you used to have, man, weren't you a, you know, then you have running with the law. Weren't you addicted? Weren't you this? Didn't you drop out of school? You know, haven't seen you, your video in a minute. Just know you're the GOAT. Thank you. But yeah, they're going to try to call you by your mistakes. So what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you was overweight. You lost the weight. So what we talk about? You know what I'm saying? So what? You know what I mean? You dropped out of school. Maybe you had a bad, you know, you made a bad decision. You went back to school and got that degree. So now what? So like I said, they're always going to try to call you mistakes. You could win a Grammy. You could win a Academy Award. You could win a Nobel Peace Prize. They still going to remind you about how, you know, you used to do drugs. Like, man, I got a Nobel Peace Prize. What are you talking about? So never let someone call you, try to remind you of where you've been. Stand 10 toes down and remember where you are. Don't focus on where you've been. Stand true, stay true in who you are and what you are. Who you are right now is all that matters. And more importantly, who you are going to be, because you're not done yet. Remember, you wake up with you and you go to bed with you. So understand that where you are right now and who you're going to be is all you need to be focused on. Don't worry about where you've been. That's the past now. That's behind you now. It's behind you for a reason. Once you shut that door of your past behind you, lock that junk, throw away the key. You know what I'm saying? Lock that door, throw away the key. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that matters, chat. That's all that matters. Who you are right now. Don't be worried about that. They gonna say what they gonna say. You know what I mean? So, you know, they try to remind me, they try to remind you, they try to remind everybody. And more importantly, look at the people that's trying to do that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same people that, you know, That high school was the days. That's the people that's going to try to remind you that, oh, you know what I'm saying, you were a nerd or something, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I don't know. Like, you were, I don't know. Well, you know, people pick on people. You know what I mean? It's all like, okay, so, like, so what that you, so what you a nerd, okay? Okay. You know what I mean? And, you know? So, like I said, the people that's trying to take you back to where you've been, understand that the reason why the people that's trying to take you back to where you've been, the reason why they're trying to take you back there is because they're still there. Where you used to be, you got to look at it like this. Where you used to be, they still are at. So when they see you, when you the CEO, you big man, big, you know, you the boss man, you the boss lady. When they see that, they remember you as that person that was used to get bullied. And so they can't handle that. Oh, they still in the same spot and you elevated. So they're gonna try to take you back, or oh, remember when, you know what I mean, you tripped and fell in front of the class. It's like, man, that was 15 years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid stuff, you know what I mean? So, you know, what I mean? That's really what it boils down to. They always gonna try to take you back to where you've been. So what? So what? So what? Like I say, you still here. You know what I'm saying? But thank you, chat. Thank you for being here, for showing me love, man. Like I said, I just want to reiterate that. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming into the live and being the lovely people that you are, man. Like I said, it's a true honor, true privilege. Thank you. Here at AYG. Whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, like I said, thank you. Thank you. Come from the hot. Come from the hot. But yeah, like I said, they still there. You know what I mean? That ain't your problem. I never, you know what I mean? Like I said, as soon as a lot of stuff is out of sight, out of mind. As soon as you realize, man, this isn't my problem, man. You know what I mean? It's not my problem. It never was. You know what I mean? You know? So, then you know what I mean? You'll be able to get that dirt off your shoulder, man. You'll be allowed to get that behind you. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes it is what it is mindset is the best mindset to have, you know, because we can always learn from a situation even if we didn't cause it. We can always learn from a situation even if we didn't cause it. That's the difference. You know what I mean? So, you know, keep pushing through and you'll see it through, you know? So, you know. And you don't need anyone to remind you of who you are and what you are, where you've been. You know where you've been. That's why you work so hard to get where you are now. You don't need anyone to remind you of, oh, you were this, you were that. You don't need to remind you that, oh, you had to run it with the law or whatever. Maybe you made some poor choices. You were the one in that cell. You remember being in that cell if you were in there. You don't need anyone to remind you that you used to have an addiction. You remember how you couldn't cope without that addiction. You lost your job, your family, your friends, or whatever struggles that you've been in your life. You don't need anyone to remind you of that. That's why you work so hard to get here. Why do you think people work so hard to get out of that? For this very reason, so they don't go back to where they used to be. You know what you had to do. You know what sacrifices and hurdles that you had to jump through. You know what you had to do. No one needs to tell you that. You know that. You know that. Here at AYG. Whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We positive, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's simple as, man, get that mess out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't need to remind you that anyway. That's why you know, throwing caution to the wind, trying to get out of it. That's why you doing all that. For that very reason. So, you know what I mean? How you gonna tell someone that something about they already know? That's why you doing it. That's why you here. You know what I mean? That's why you stop going to the parties. That's why you stop going to the bar. That's why you in and out of the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's why you doing that. Because you're not trying to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you eating healthy. That's why you working hard. That's why that's why you doing it. So you'll never have to feel that way again. That feeling, in your gut where you felt hopeless, that you felt like you had nothing to give. You never want to feel like that again. That's why you're doing it. That's why we doing it. That's why you doing it. So no one, you never have to feel that way again. And you won't. You won't, because you're putting everything into place. So even when setbacks happen, you're ready for it. That's another thing. A lot of people want to put it all behind them. And I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that, but also preparing. When you prepare for it, when something does happen, it's not going to shake you. A lot of people want to put it behind them. The problem with that is that when you fully put it behind you and when something happens, you fall apart again. But when you prepare and something happens, you're like, okay, I didn't want this to happen, but it did. But I already have a plan set in place for when it does. That's the difference. So when you have a plan set in place for when it does, you're not going to allow that to phase you like it used to. Stuff not going to phase you like it used to because you have all your ducks in a row. Like, okay, when this happens, this is plan A, this is plan B. So you don't allow it to happen. That's another perspective I have too. So I know, okay, I'm going to do this. So when this happens, if it does, hopefully it doesn't, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And you are ready. You're ready now. You know what I mean? You're more ready than you ever been. A lot of times we get caught up in we're not where we want to be yet. But the key word is yet. You'll get there. The key word is yet. You'll get there. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. You know what I mean? It's coming. That's why you working. As long as you stay steady, stay at a steady pace, it's coming. We get caught up in wanting now. But as long as you're in a steady pace, it's coming. It's coming. So that's it. It's coming. You know what I mean? Be ready for it to come. You know what I mean? Be ready for it to come. That's it. That's it, and that's all. Sometimes we just get caught up in wanting right now, but it's gonna come. So, But like I said, thank you for everybody that's been showing up, that's been showing love and all that. I really appreciate y'all for taking your time to, to joke, laugh, kick it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Muchos gracias. Here at AYG. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Woo-woos in the chat. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, if you had a steady pace, you might as well guarantee it is yours. You know what I mean? If you work at a steady place, guarantee it is yours. It only stops happening if you stop working. It only stops happening if you stop working. And now I mean you got to be all gas, no brakes. Sometimes you need to collect yourself. Don't overexert yourself and gas out. You taking a minute to collect yourself is sometimes needed so you can reassess the plan and know where to go, know where you need to go next. So I don't gas yourself out. Don't do that. You know what I mean? But you also reassessing yourself is also a part of working. You taking that break to collect yourself is self-care. Self-care, the best care, my friends. So just because you taking that little break to reassess yourself, that don't mean you're not working. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm not working, I'm not doing nothing. No, because now your mind might be full of clutter. And when you take a break to reassess that, you're like, okay, oh, I wasn't thinking clearly. That's why I missed that. You gonna see stuff that you missed that you didn't even notice because you were so overworking. You had a heavy workload that you was stressed that you didn't see. Now that you took a minute to collect yourself, you see it now. You missed that. You're like, why isn't this working? Because you were overworked. You know what I'm saying? You were stressed, so you didn't see that. Now that you took that minute, you took that little break, you took that little self-care moment, took that little spa day. Now you're like, oh, okay, bet that. So that's important too. Self-care is all part of the play, all part of working. It's all part of the success. The only time that it's that you're not working is if you just give up and you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Because when you take that minute to self-care, that's all part of it. So don't lose sight on that. But like I said, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for everybody showing up and showing love. You know what I'm saying? We had a little, we had a little issue earlier, you feel me? But that's okay. You know what I mean? That's all that. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. You know what I mean? But like I said, don't, you know what I mean? It's all good. But like I said, I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And like I said, I hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all doing good. I hope your mental is right. Because like I said, the mental and physical is tied together. A lot of people is mentally good, but they ain't physically good. Or they physically good and mentally good. Like I said, all ties together. You know what I'm saying? So, make sure that you got it all together, And like I said, it takes time. It takes work. It's hard. But like I said, it's better that we put the work in now, put one foot forward and try to achieve that. Because like I said, it's okay. Don't feel bad. Don't be hard on yourself. It's okay. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with you. You know what I mean? Just because you're going through a rough patch, just because you're going through a tough time, it doesn't mean nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with you. You're just going through a rough time right now, but it's going to be okay. And like I said, you know, it's it's all going to fall into place some way, somehow. But like I said, thank y'all for showing me love, for being here in the chat. Here at AYG. Whoa, whoa. Like I said, we not all serious. We like to have fun too. I know in the videos you probably but we like to have fun too. You know. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, just because you're going through a rough patch, it doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? It's gonna be all right. See it through. So, you know, I know that, a lot of people, you know, sometimes weren't patient with you, or maybe they, looked at you as defective or looked at you as something was wrong with you, but that's the furthest thing from the truth, my friend. The furthest thing from the truth. There is nothing wrong with you. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with the situation that you're in, but that isn't a reflection on you. Even if you put yourself into it, we've all done that. I'm not going to shame you for that, because there's certain situations I'm like, man, why did I do that? But instead of beating yourself up about it, focus on what we can do to get ourselves out of it. Because if there was a way in, there's a way out. You got yourself in there, you can get yourself out. And like I said, we are lifting each other through it all. Through it all. So like I said, if there's a way in, there's a way out. There's always a way out. You walked into the maze, you're going to walk out of the maze. You walked into the maze, you're going to walk out of the maze. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So, people explore caves for fun. People explore caves and, you know what I mean? They got in there, they got stuck, they got out. You know what I mean? So you gonna get out. One way or another, some way, somehow. You got in, you got out. So that's the difference. So, never lose sight of that. So. But yeah, so, I'll be the last person to shame you. There's a lot of situations that I stayed in. I really wanted it to work. And I know you did too. You really wanted it to work because you saw the promise that was maybe in that new job, or in that opportunity, or within that person. And you thought, if I keep, pushing through, maybe it'll work out. But you have to, if you invest something, you have to see a return. If you're not seeing a return, there's got to be a way out. So if you're not seeing a return, there's got to be a way out. If you're not seeing a return, you got to go. You got to go. So, sometimes we stay in that, and, and sometimes it didn't start off bad. That's why we think we can fix it, because the situation didn't start off bad. So we think that, we just having a rough patch right now. If I stay, it'll work. You know what I mean? But the person that's supposed to be working with you is working against you. It's not supposed to be that way. There's no I in team, as cliche as it sounds. But there's a reason why they say that. There's no I in team, my friend. So like I said, maybe you stayed in something longer than you should have, but we've all been there. You stayed in something longer than you should have, but we all been there. So, like I said, you don't got to beat yourself up for that. You've already been hurt enough. There's no sense in hurting yourself even more, especially, people have already hurt you enough as it is. You don't need to talk down to yourself. You don't need to, you don't need to speak ill of yourself. You don't need to call yourself names. That's already been done enough as it is. You know what I'm saying? That's already been done enough as it is. It doesn't need to be that way anymore. You know? Whatever happened, it happened, but you're safe now. No one's going to hurt you anymore. So, you know, you don't need to do that. You know, the people around you, the people that you used to be around already did that. You already been bullied. You already been backed into a corner. You don't need to do that to yourself. You know what I mean? I know maybe sometimes we get in situations where that's what we used to. You know what I'm saying? We get in situations where that's what we used to, but you know, don't allow yourself to get used to being the last one picked. Don't allow yourself to get used to being talked down to. Don't allow yourself to get used to accepting less. Don't allow yourself to get used to being abused, to being used, to being mistreated. Don't allow yourself to get used to that feeling. Don't allow yourself to allow yourself for that to happen. You know what I mean? To get used to that. Because as soon as you get used to something negative, as soon as you get used to being in a negative position, you'll never even want to get out of it. Because you think that's what you deserve. And you deserve better, my friend. You do. But I said, thank y'all for coming into the live, for showing me so much love here at AYG. Whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but don't get used to that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get used to being being mistreated and being backed into a corner. You deserve to stand tall. You deserve to be on top, and you deserve the top spot. I know that might seem strange to you. I know that might seem like off kilter to you, but you know you do you if you see an opportunity to reach for something higher, you should. If you see the opportunity to reach for something better, you should. Why not? Why not? Why not you? Why not you? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Why not you? Who says it ain't you? Who says that you ain't the one? What? The other people that you used to hang around? Who are they? So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know. But like I said, I really appreciate y'all for showing me love, for always being there, you know. But, shoot. Thanks for everybody that's coming to the live. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. We're going to be live tomorrow. But like I said, it's RyRy. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you, family. We growing, family. Whoa, whoa. And you got this, homie. It's already yours.